This is Jackie, and I'm here with Friday Giants, day 2 of Cincinnati's Bunbury Festival. I mean, you guys are from the surrounding area, so what are some of your favorite Ohio or Kentucky favorite live venues to play or attend?
I would say, obviously, the biggest. Since I was a teenage boy, maybe even younger, Bogart's has been on my list as far as places that I've just got to play. And we have been incredibly lucky. We've played 3 times now?
3 times.
3 times,
Yep,
yes.
Twice on the main stage.
Yep, twice on the main stage. We did a front room show that was really personal, very fun. But, I mean, as far as local venues go, Bogart's is absolutely legendary. Madison Theater. Check that off our list. We even played the Time Warner Party Plaza stage at Riverbend. That was a hot one. We were sweating our butt off.
On the blacktop.
Yeah.
That's not a good decision.
I
No.
mean, that's what they had us do. So, but for me, it's actually the Bunbury Music Festival because I'm kind of a late bloomer when it comes to playing in music. So Zach was going to shows at the Mad Hatter and everyone else in the band was. And 2013, I think, is when I showed up and I saw Pluto Revolts come up here. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is the coolest thing ever. And I just got into the music scene and I'm like, Bunbury has to be what I play. And here we are. So it was crazy. I actually texted him this morning like, Ben, thank you so much for igniting the fuse there and getting the music and everything.
How did your video for 20 Nothings kind of shape things lately?
That was our first big music video off the record, and what's really cool is that our drummer Logan Boatwright, as well as our photographer Chris Hughes, are two-fourths of a company called Streetlight Studios. They do video production, so it was kind of funny that Logan had to play drums, but was also part of the crew that filmed the video. We actually filmed in Gavin's old house. We just kind of threw up a little setup in the living room, and we had fun with it. It was like a 12-hour shoot. We spent all day there. We have an amazing actor from the area, Drew Davidson, who played our kind of main role there, and we were very happy to release that as a kind of first glimpse of what we could do, because having a team like Streetlight Studios on our side and in the band we're incredibly fortunate. So it was amazing.
What role do you see music videos having in either your band or bands in general in 2018 when there's no longer, that channel growing up that we used to tune to watch them?
The top 20 countdowns, those aren't around anymore.
TRL is sort of back, but
Banger's Ball, yeah.
Nice, pull. I like that.
I think it gives us a personality in a way because, a lot of times people will be like, so yesterday Zach and I were talking to WCPO, the local ABC affiliate here, and we had some girls come up to us and be like, wait, are you guys in Friday Giants? Because we were talking about that, and they didn't recognize who we were, so they hadn't probably seen our music video. So, that's so important, in getting the band's image out there and connecting with people in a way. We actually have another music video, What May Come. That one talked about bullying and everything, and putting an identity to faces instead of just talking about numbers and statistics. So you can make something breathe bigger and give the song this bigger expansion while introducing members of the band, too.
And that's obviously an important subject, especially for young people. Bullying is something we've always sort of dealt with, but I think as things get sort of more intense in school situations, why was it important for you to use your platform to talk about that specific cause?
I mean, we're lucky to get a platform at all to kind of speak on something like that. The video for What May Come was very deep and very personal. A lot of members of the band dealt with sexual abuse, verbal abuse, maybe bad lives at home, and it's something that in the past it was swept under the rug and not talked about. But we're fortunate enough in this generation to have a media platform where we could start to put a stop to these things. So that is how we kind of sleep at night. How we get to do amazing things like this. That's our way of turning it around and doing something for everybody else. We work with a local nonprofit from around here called A Voice for the Innocent. They deal with sexual abuse victims. We're starting to give those unspoken topics a voice. I think that it makes it kind of, like I mentioned, helps us sleep at night. It makes us feel good that we're doing something worthwhile. If you're lucky enough to get that sort of platform to do something that's productive and kind of as deep as that is a good feeling.
While we're here, for anyone that's listening, if you have ever been a victim of sexual abuse or anything that you feel uncomfortable talking about, you can visit avoicefortheinnocent.org, which is avfti.org, and you can share your story anonymously. No judgment, everyone is believed, and you get a chance to really open up and talk about those things, which is not so easy to talk about. Our mainstream media doesn't make it easy on us.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. I feel like 2017 and 2018 have been pretty pivotal years for harassment in general through the Me Too movement and things like that. What advice do you have to kids and young people who deal with any sort of harassment of any kind? What advice would you give to them?
I would say at the end of the day, you really, I mean, you feel like you don't have a voice. You really feel like you're kind of yelling to no one. It's a cry for help that no one hears. There are so many mediums in which that you can contact someone. You could talk to someone, regardless of your situation. If you've got a computer, if you've got a phone, there's hotlines, there's numbers, there's people here waiting to help you. So I think that's the most important part, is that you feel like you have no one to talk to, and we are trying to kind of do our part to pull back the curtain to let you know there's people waiting to help you. You do have help. So
Find your thing as well. I mean, I can probably speak for Zach confidently on this one too, is that music is our escape and our release for the things that have gotten to us. And without music, I don't think we'd be here today. I really don't think that.
Speaking of which, young people in general, but I think everyone, no matter what age you are, sometimes turn to music when things get tough. What were some bands or acts that kind of you're like, I'm having a really bad day. If I press play on this, it might not fix everything, but boy, I know that once that song is over or once the end of that album is over, I know I can separate myself a little bit from that. How about you guys?
Switchfoot's Meant to Live. Always the chorus. We were meant to live for so much more. Have we lost ourselves? And it's reminding me, like, you know what? There's stupid bullshit that happens all the time in the world, and you can't do a damn thing about it. But you were still meant to live for something more, and that's something you should never forget.
big old fans of Switchfoot. Oh goodness, we just saw them. I saw them in Louisville. I actually met John Foreman, which that was a weird band I found myself loving. Senior year of high school, I remember I stumbled across. It was right before they released Vice Versa's Oh Gravity, the album came out. And it's just, you love when you're listening to the music that, and you know, the lyrics, the words, you know, strike you at a point where it's just, you feel like that it came from you. You like, oh, there's someone that understands, they're singing about it. That's the way we sort of deal with things, is that we use it as an art medium, as a platform to kind of get that off of our chest. So you'll have people that create, and you'll have people that relate, and really that's what we hope to do, is kind of be that band that, like, your album really helped me through that time where, you know, I didn't know the words until you put them together, and then I was like, that's what I'm trying to say. That's all you could hope for as a band, honestly. It doesn't matter how many people are at your shows. It doesn't matter you know, how much money you make, or, you know, the kind of fame aspect. To have someone personally come up to you and say, your music made me fight another day, is you could ask for absolutely nothing more than that.
I think music is a really powerful tool. The tools that get that music out to people, however, I feel like are really evolving. What role do you see music streaming sites having for you, or music in general?
It sheds light on a lot of music that, you know, a lot of people couldn't hear. We're lucky to sort of live in a generation where we've gotten a platform to kind of speak on these sort of things. So I think having access to all this music is incredible. You know, you used to have to run out to record stores, get your hands on physical copies of things, and now at the tips of your fingers, it's completely personalized. You know, stuff like, you know, these Spotify, that they make personalized playlists for you every day for the several genres of music that you listen to. I think that is an incredible tool that hopefully we can, you know, be a part of. That we could use that as a sort of medium to, you know, pick up fans, pick up people that need that in their life. So.
Yeah, playlisting is the way to go. We've actually done a lot of growing by making our own playlist these past 4 months. New pop punk essentials, pop punk sad boys. I'm really proud of that one. We made a playlist for Bunbury, like the best of the Bunbury Music Festival. That one hasn't done well yet because it's like brand new. And another one we made, because there's like 3 giant bands here, was all bands with the name Giant in them. That's actually public now on our Spotify playlist. So if you look up Friday Giants on there and you find the playlist, there's a list
There's a giant playlist full of giants.
Just giants. Buckle up, because it's a ride. It's a ride.
So have you ever put yourself like on the same playlist as Ed Sheeran? So you can, like,
We're not that.
you know, make that happen?
We're not worthy.
So this is something that was taught to me by a couple music promoters. The best way to get your music out nowadays is to connect and network with other bands that are around your size or just a little bit bigger. And what you can do is you can say, hey, I'd love it if you put my song in your playlist, and I'll put it in ours. So we've got 100-something followers on ours, and we've got other bands that are on there, and so their fans are seeing us and vice versa, and it's helped us grow quite a bit. So it's this whole new thing that actually you and I grew up with. We never grew up with playlists, but somehow it's so natural to us. We were able to pick it up that way. So
Lots of scratching each other's backs going on.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Teamwork, good teamwork.
it's the dream to get the music out there. That's how you got to do it. Make friends. Don't be afraid to talk to someone. It's not hard.
So what about cover songs? Because some bands will embrace a good cover song and just make it their own, and other bands are like, that's not what I want to be known for. What is your take on that?
It took us a while to get to the cover song, actually. We've been a band for about 40 years until the cover song idea. We're like, you know what, guys? We've got to get away for someone to see us in a new light instead of just pigeonholing us, you know? So
I mean, that absolutely helps, with when you're playing to a big crowd of people that aren't necessarily familiar with. I mean, the Chainsmokers last night was a very, very good example. You have a bunch of people that may not have heard of you before, but they're just coming to check you out, and they may like your music and they may really dig it. But once that song starts, that they know that they're familiar with, it draws them in. It kind of gets their attention. So we wanted to do that with a cover, but put our kind of own twist on it, our own personality. Our cover of What Do I Know, the Ed Sheeran song, is very much different from the original, and that's what we love about it. Is we gave our own flavor, our own spin on it. That's really all you could hope to do with a cover, is do it in your own way and have, hopefully, the artist. I mean, Ed, if you want to check it out, tell us if we did a good job. But to have people, I mean, love a cover that you pulled off and made it your own is all we hope for the new cover.
Well, before I ask this next question, I will preface that this will not come out for a few days, so feel free to answer this question. Vans Warped Tour is coming up. It's the very last year. What are some of your favorite Warped Tour memories? Have you attended in previous years?
First concert ever.
Absolutely.
The first concert I ever saw was Chiodos, and
Yep,
I gotta
was there.
admit, I didn't like Chiodos very much, and the reason I didn't like them was because I almost got killed in the pit. They were moving me around oh my gosh, what is happening? And people were falling on top of me, but the energy was just undeniable, so I had to go see more. Devil Wears Prada was there, A Day to Remember was there that year. I think A Bullet for My Valentine was there that year as well, but ever since then it was all right, this is the genre for me.
Warped Tour very, very quickly surpassed Christmas Day for me. I was
Sorry, Santa.
Yeah, maybe 12, 13 years. Put me on the naughty list. I'll be at Warped Tour. I don't care. It is unbelievable to get to go a whole day to a festival, and the lineup is so slammed with bands that you love that you run into bands playing at the same time and having to pick one over the other. It was all of my favorite bands in one place in one day, and it doesn't get better than that.
And now it's your turn. So no pressure, right?
No.
How are you going to go about choosing your set list?
So, obviously, we found out last week, a little over a week ago, that we will be playing the Full Sail University stage at the final Vans Warped Tour, which kept this summer rolling. I mean, Bunbury was mind-blowing. I mean, out of the blue, we've submitted for years to get the chance to kind of play here, and to the point where we almost were we'll submit, kind of ignore it, and the most casual email rolls across our inbox. Hey, so we decided you guys are going to play Bunbury this year. And we lost our minds. I personally was worried that after the festival was over, the week after, I was going to just be so sad because we'd been waiting for this for so long and having something to look like this to look forward to. And then a week before Bunbury, we're we need something to keep this train rolling. Reverb Nation, we did a contest through them that somehow we end up winning, and we will be featured on the Full Sail University stage. We'll get to show a little bit of more aggressive side of ourselves. We didn't want to go too crazy at Bunbury.
We're a heavy band?
We can be. Oh, goodness. Yeah, we get angry sometimes, too. We're happy-go-lucky guys, but there's I'd say 2 songs on 20 Nothings that aren't for the faint of heart that we might get to bust out for Warped Tour. Yeah.
So what's up next for you guys right after Bunbury? Rehearsal?
We are cooking some stuff up for the end of the year. We can't Can't say a ton about it. Yeah,
I'm gonna take a nap.
I'm gonna
tired.
cook some stuff up. Gavin's gonna take a nap.
But then
Must
when I
be.
wake up, Zach will be like, here's what you missed.
Here's what you're doing, by the way.
Here's what you're doing. I
Shift.
need you to
Finish
do
this stuff. I'm gonna take a nap.
Zach has been great. He's been helping keeping the show running this whole week. Actually, his mom made the T-shirts that are on sale today.
My mama. Shout out to Michelle Taylor. My
What's
mama.
up to Michelle Taylor?
Talking about teamwork. Well, stay tuned for much more from Friday Giant. This is Jackie. Thanks to Chorus FM and In the Key of Change.